rain, voice, heart burns dry. A dream or a song that hits you so hard, filling you up, suddenly gone.
Welcome, everybody, to One Shot Revolver, our November fundraising month for Transgender Victoria. Thank you especially to our international guests for being here to support a local charity here in Australia. So I will begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation and the Noongar people, traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today, and pay my respects to their elders past and present. That's obviously for us Australian folks. Let us pass over to Ali to get started for the US folks.
Absolutely, yes. We would like to begin by acknowledging the various Native and Indigenous peoples, past, present, and emerging, on whose unceded and ancestral lands we live and work, and from which we are streaming today. Speaking for myself, the current and traditional caretakers of the land on which I am now are the Kizh, the Tongva, and the Chumash.
I'm streaming in from the land owned by the Dakota people.
I am streaming in from the traditional land of the Munsee Lenape people.
And I'm streaming in from the same as Ali, the Chumash is the closest tribe.
Thank you very much. I'll just quickly do a rundown of what Transgender Victoria actually does. So they are Victoria, Australia's leading charity supporting trans and gender diverse people. They work to achieve justice, equity, and inclusion for their communities and their partners, families, friends, and allies. And they aim to achieve better social, economic, health, wellbeing, and mental health outcomes for the communities. So yes, thank you once again to everyone. Hello to our viewers, and we're playing Apocalypse Keys today. And what is this game?
All right, Apocalypse Keys is, well, they were just on Kickstarter, and they're probably one of the ones that I was most excited about in a very long time. Apocalypse Keys is a game where everybody here is playing agents of a group called Division. The Department of Interdimensional Vigilance and International Security, Interdisciplinary Operations Network. That's your title, but functionally you are a monster. It is a world full of monsters. Some of them are useful. Some of them are trying to sort of live their lives as best they can. Some of them are trying to bring about the end of days, and some of them are trying to stop it, which is where all of our PCs come in. Everybody has incredible powers, obviously, but they come at a cost. And as you sort of go through the game, players will be, again, this is a Powered by the Apocalypse group game, but players, when they roll, they will be balancing what the darkness demands of them and accruing darkness tokens, and then spending them to add power to their moves, at the risk of potentially overshooting, giving into the darkness, and ruining everything. So we are going to start. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll just say nice, excellent.
All right. Do we want to do quick introductions?
Sure. It's probably a good idea. We should probably do a personal introduction so we know who everyone is, and then a character introduction. The introduction. I'm Damien. He, him pronouns. I'm here in Melbourne, Victoria, and I'm playing Oculus the Fallen. So the Fallen was once a mighty god of the earth, but was killed by those damn worshippers, and he's been reborn as a monstrous creature that has eyes all over the body, cracked halo that bleeds, and limbs of a kind of fish-like creature. So very handsome man. And what is his desire and wish? Well, I guess we'll find out. Who wants to go next? Danielle?
You're muted, Danielle.
Oh, you muted, Danielle.
Of course I am. Muted for the welcome to country, acknowledgement of country, sorry. I'm Danielle, she, her. I am in Perth, Australia, so on the opposite side of the country to Damien, which means it's 10 in the morning here. I am playing the Shade, a character touched by death and with a special personal relationship with death. I was pulled into the time stream until I actually saw the end of the universe, which I hope not to bring about, but fear that I will. I am a bit of a necromancer. Things wake up and follow me. Dead things, shadows, kind of all manner of horrible things. So even if I looked completely normal, and I don't, no one would mistake me for a human.
I think we're all going to be pretty non-human looking. Carl.
That's not true. Elsie looks pretty human.
I don't look that monster.
You muted, Carl. Everyone's muted today.
I'm not muted.
I am very much the one who looks human. My name is Carl Engle-Laird. I look human in real life, and I am playing LC, which is short for Lingers Close, the Found. Elsie looks, for all intents and purposes, like a fairly beautiful, actually very beautiful, somewhat femme-presenting person. Their pronouns are they, them. Unless they happen to take off their shirt, in which case they would reveal that they have the torso of a dressmaker's dummy. So canvas stretched over a metal frame. That is their original body. Their head, arms, and legs sprouted from that canvas torso after the torso was haunted by the dream of a sleeping god, which, if it wakes, may end the universe. To cover this, they wear a variety of punk clothes that they stitch themselves, and to keep people from falling in love with them, they wear a hideous mask that they carved and painted themselves. They had a lot of time to do this while they were stuck in a storage container containing a bunch of clothes and some other mannequins and dressmakers' dolls, which was a period of somewhere between 6 months and 20 years.
Around there.
Beautiful. Ali?
Yeah. So I'm Allie. I am playing the hungry Chiaroscuro, or Chiara, she or it pronouns. I look human if you squint. My form at the moment, at the very least, is kind of a dark-haired, round-faced Renaissance portrait beauty. I take on whatever it is that I devour. I take on the qualities, and I like to devour art, human art and ingenuity. That's what I look like right now, except I always kind of have I always look partially in shadow, like a Caravaggio, even in direct sunlight, which is why you kind of get a sense that I might not be entirely human if you look at me close enough. As I said, the thing that I desire to devour the most is any semblance of creativity, whether it's the creativity of a human on their own or works of art by themselves. And all that I leave behind is kind of dullness, a lack of a spark. It's something that I once was a muse for artists, and there's nothing that I love more than art. So I sort of developed this combination of dark and light within me that occasionally I am unable to contain, and it means that I devour these things that are light and good, and I leave behind darkness.
Beautiful. And Kyle, who are you, Kyle, and what are you playing?
Hi, I'm Kyle Vogt, he, him. I'm playing the last, known as Legacy, he, him. Mostly human looking, except for the fact eyes appear to be starry galactic fields. And the presence doesn't really look unhuman, but it makes you feel odd, like your teeth will itch or other strange feelings that happen when in close presence. Otherwise, jeans, boots, shirt, and leather jacket. Mostly wears sunglasses to cover the eyes, but they don't tend to always stay in place. And there's a symbol representing the universe that he came from before it was completely obliterated by a mistake on their side, that looks like a three-dimensional picture of a tesseract. You can notice that it's three-dimensional. As you move, it has depth as opposed to just being a flat print on the shirt.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Excellent. All right. So one more time, I'm going to remind everybody that you're going to be accruing darkness tokens throughout this. So keep an eye on the conditions or the ways that you get that. It might be that it's all role-playing stuff, but if you react with cold logic or ask someone to doubt their future or react with uncertainty or arrogance or feel unloved or abandoned, whatever, keep an eye on those. And when you're hitting them in role-playing, feel free to be like, hey, I just hit this. And you'll get dark tokens. Because I probably won't cotton on to every single time. All right, so we're going to start out. Ideally in this game, you would have had like a session 0 where you sort of create your version of Division. But we are going to sort of speed run that. I'm going to ask each of you a question about Division, and I'm going to ask you sort of how you are starting your day. As most of you look very, very inhuman, I think it's probably fair to assume that you live in a Division branch or otherwise, are housed outside of the general city. So hopefully we won't have to, worry about bringing everybody in beyond that. Let's start with, we just went inverse. Kyle, where is Division located? And are there many branches or just this one?
Division has headquarters located in Portland, Oregon, but there are many local offices, local branches throughout the world.
Mm-hmm. All right, perfect. Legacy, when you get up in the morning, if you don't have, a specific mission, what are you doing in Division?
Usually in the morning, if not on particular task, I sit and watch television while drinking coffee just to try to understand the universe around. It's not quite the same as where I'm from. We were on a utopic plan before we made a mistake and destroyed ourselves, twisting our reality into a parasitic, consumptive universe that's trying to eat this one. And so I try to learn what I can from television, at the same time keep an eye out in case something is occurring upon the world at hand.
All right. Chiara, what about Division is mundane?
I think that it is mundane because there are a lot of our work is in upholding the mundane. So I think just as many kind of specialized Division operatives there are people who are going out and interacting with the public. There are postal workers, there's librarians, there's a lot of members of the everyday public are members of Division, and you might not even know just because they're there to uphold what's good about the world.
Beautiful. Are you interacting with those people in any way?
Yes, I think I'm frequently trying to get them to let me devour their, creativity and human ingenuity by any means necessary. So, yeah.
Interesting. Who's your latest target?
I think that I have a big crush on, there is a barista who works in kind of like the central coffee hub of the Portland headquarters. And she interacts with both the mundane public and with, Division agents as a whole. And she's an aspiring artist. I think her work is really good. And I definitely would like to, devour her soul a little bit. So.
Incredible. I'm just picturing this morning pastiche where you're like, making eyes at this barista, but also like.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I really love the way you make that latte art look like a little fern. Come closer, please, please. Let me get a better look at it. Just, every day, every morning.
Carl, what about Division is strange?
Most things about Division are strange. And yeah, well, aside from us, it's difficult for Lingers Close to answer that question because they lack a frame of reference and consider a lot of things in Division to be the norm. But from the outside, one of the strange things about Division is the naming conventions for rooms and storage, none of which you do not find room numbers that start with 1 on the first floor. You find long strings of text, which can go like 13CD, the light that fell from the sky that day, blue. And that's like the conference room next to the like broken coffee maker. But that's just one thing. Like Division is built on a foundation of strangeness that employs strange people. And sometimes those people pretend to be normal.
Sure.
But they can't, it doesn't work for them.
Yeah. What are you doing on an average day?
Elsie is very often found at the back of a crowded room watching people and sketching them in a sketch pad, or taking photos, or otherwise observing people physically while also sort of skimming their surface thoughts, trying to take in as much about other people as possible to try to not be found out as a weirdo. They don't want everyone to know that they don't know anything. But like always sketching or engaged in some other form of art. That sometimes they're like embroidering something on like, sometimes they're doing like needlepoint or crocheting or any kind of other like, craft. But like their hands are always moving on something.
Explains why she always sits next to you on the trips.
Yeah, that's an interesting dynamic. I would like to see her try. All right. Temujin, how are monstrous agents like you treated differently from the human agents?
You're muted.
You're muted.
Yep. It just told that. The human agents, obviously, they leave at the end of the day or the end of their shift, whenever that is. It's not always, 9 to 5. And they go home to their families in wherever they live, close or far away. And we don't. So some of them are sorry for us, and they treat us like there's something sad about the way that we live, which, I mean, obviously some of us feel like there is, but a lot of us, this is our normal. So it creates this slightly weird dynamic where we think that they're a little bit prejudiced against us, and they think that they're being kind. Now, obviously, not all mortal agents, but enough of them do this that it creates a little bit of friction between especially new agents and the more monstrous of us, that we just don't really understand each other. None of us are trying to be mean, but we're just not on the same page a lot of the time. And that creates difficulty with, the higher ups when they try to put us together with people who may or may not work well with us, and we may or may not work well with them.
Brilliant.
And then, of course, we eat some of them. Or Kia does.
There's is that? Oh God, yeah, that's a fun working relationship for everyone. All right, Oculus. It sounds like you've been around for a hot second with Division. What area is off limits even to you?
I think the area off limits is the human resource department.
Okay. Why?
They
Not
do
a snack bar.
They do.
Isn't why I'm thinking.
Yeah, they do and don't trust us, and HR tends to make a lot of people angry, and they're kind of worried that we might, enslave them or eat them. So,
wow. Okay, Temujin, I forgot to ask. How are you spending your average day at Division?
I don't really have an average day. Division is full of so many interesting pieces of information, some interesting people, but there's so much data there for me to look at, so many patterns to correlate. So on any given day, I will be following my latest obsession with some piece of trivia or data that someone's mentioned to me or I've seen in a magazine, and just researching it as hard as I can. If I don't have a current obsession, it's probably going to be reading poetry, trying to find something to connect me to my emotions or someone else's.
Ideal. All right. And Oculus.
What am I doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Morning. Well, I think Oculus is going to be talking to the barista that Chiaroscuro was talking to. So this poor barista has kind of got two voices, and basically he's talking to him. Oh, I don't know if it was him, can't remember. And saying, well, he's covered in eyes, but one of this central eye opens up and it's like a mouth, and that's how he talks. And he's like, and he's kind of like this. Do you know how powerful I was? I was so powerful. I used to rule the world.
And that's probably the less unsettling conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good to know that treating your barista like your therapist is worldwide. Yeah.
It's a
Cross species
throughout the universe.
Across cultures. Yeah.
Since I have to get my coffee in the morning from somewhere, I mostly float behind those two while they're distracted and going, is my coffee ready yet?
Coffee for legacy? Legacies? That mine?
Yeah, that one.
Perfect.
The legacy latte, please.
Yeah.
All right. So, Temujin, I think you're probably going to be the first person to realize what's going on in Division. You're following little trails of information. And you're looking, what do you think your obsession is today?
Parrots.
Do you have any brilliant ideas?
Parrots. I'm not muted. No, I'm not muted. No. I have discovered that there seems to be a correlation between where people grow carrots and where people are reporting alien abduction stories. And I'm trying to find out whether there's a causative link or whether it's just a correlation. So far, I don't have any kind of conclusion on that one, but the data does indicate that there is some link. So at the moment, the rest of my team think I'm bizarre because I am reading literally a book on the history of carrots.
Have you considered the fact that the aliens may be needing carrot cake?
I had not considered that, but I will add it into the spreadsheet as a possibility.
All right. So you're doing your thing. You're following trails of information. And I mean, Division has just, I would imagine that their specific way of like filing information, both magical and mundane, because you don't really know what you're going to need, is a little bit insane, a little bit obsessive. And aside from like the archivists, maybe even more than some of the archivists, you would have a sense of like where you can find any given little bit of info. However, you go to one of Division's like, info resource areas, and you were absolutely certain that like the bit of the text that you needed on, abductions in South America or whatever was there, and it's not. And neither is like an entire wing of this library.
The data's missing, or the actual space is different?
The actual space is different. There used to be like, rows of books, a computer, and like as you search around, you can see where like there are cords that were like hooked up to something, but like the computer center is gone. There's just like carpet. And like several books, so like several rows of books are just gone.
I am going to go and get Legacy and bring him here and just show him in a very accusatory kind of way. Say, do you know anything about this? Does this feel familiar? Because I'm sure there used to be at least 2 more rows of books here and computers, and your universe hasn't eaten anything recently, has it?
Not that I know. It could be this section went upwards in time.
Do we need to check?
I don't know. Is it important?
Well, yes. There's a whole section on alien abductions here. I mean, not only do I need this information, but Team Bravo was looking into an abduction last week. What if they've vanished too?
Then I say we should get the others to take a look at this.
I don't think there were any art books, but worth
No, I don't think Chia ate anything here. No, but they may be useful. Oculus could see something. I'm sure.
Possibly.
Lingers probably knows something. They spend a lot of time in here.
Do we have communicators of some sort, or
I would say probably minimally like pager, cell phone kind of things. If you want to come up with anything else, absolutely feel free. Some of you are telepathic.
As you are preparing to page, Lingers sort of like pushes off the wall slightly behind you, like the camera turns slightly and Lingers was there. Sort of like they're doing like this around the scene. They say, I mean, I spent some time in here, but not like that much, because like aliens aren't real. I don't know why we had this room.
Bold claim. Presumably,
it doesn't mean the abductions aren't happening. Just
yeah, as I'm there from another dimension,
aliens.
literally staring.
I mean, like, you're real, but like those like gray guys that people are worried about, not real.
Oh, those? No.
I think, like, I mean, like, what do I know?
Presumably, Chiara and Oculus show up 5 minutes late with coffee, because that's what we were doing.
Did the name on the room change again, and you lost your way?
Probably, yeah. And in addition to the distractions of competing conversation with the barista, but yeah, I think Chiara will walk in and be like, "It looks different in here. I'm not sure I'm a fan."
Yeah,
did you redecorate?
Well, something redecorated. There's a whole section of the library missing.
When was the last time you knew that there was a library here?
The last time I knew there was a library here? I mean, I guess, a few days ago, maybe? I haven't eaten anything, if that's what you're asking. At And if I do, they'd still be here. They'd just be a lot less interesting.
I suspect that you might have visited this section of the library in the past. Most of them were not very interesting.
It's certainly possible, yes. Oculus, any ideas?
Oh, well, sorry, I was drinking my coffee. So, what's the problem? We're missing a book?
We're
Don't
missing
burn
a
your
room.
cornea.
Missing
Bookshelves,
a room.
computers.
Were there like people who were supposed to be here?
Not specifically.
Now that you
I know.
mention it, usually there would be like an archivist in here just to kind of help direct people to information. You don't see anybody.
Did there used to be hallways that went through and now there's a wall?
No, it's more like you
did the contents
into a room
disappear?
and like the contents are gone.
Okay. But it's not like you walk in a room where it used to be another door, now there's nothing.
Yeah, no, it's like somebody like packed up all of the actual library portions of it and just.
Gotcha.
Do I feel any minds here that aren't like visibly obvious? Like, are there thinking things in this room besides the other player characters?
Depending on how you define mind, yes.
I'm a telepath, so I guess the question is, can I get a read on something here with my telepathy?
Yeah, so you can get a read on something like not like a physical form exactly in like this particular room, but as you sort of cast your mind out, you are able to sense something that wasn't there or that you weren't really aware of previously until you started looking for it. Something large, something that isn't really thinking in sort of a, not like in an A-B kind of thing. Semi-sentient is the thing that I've been given. But you're getting just like a vague interest, curiosity, hunger, but not in a physical sense.
Okay.
And you're
LC.
getting, if you were going to pinpoint it, you would say low, like basement level.
Mm-hmm. LC sort of clams up and like sort of looks like around the corners of the room and then sort of looks at the floor and then turns on their heel and like walks out and starts like looking up and down the corridor to find the nearest stairwell.
All right.
I think. Go ahead.
I'm going to follow Elsie at a distance because they often do this. They walk out and there's just some random action without any explanation, sometimes without even knowing why they're doing it, you know.
Sure.
Yeah. I think I'll fall into lockstep with you, Temujin, and just like be following alongside you.
When they notice that there's two people following them, they sort of like, they go, and then they turn around and say, hi. What's up?
Elsie, you did the thing again where you got some information and you didn't tell us what it was.
It's not information yet. It's just basement's hungry.
Basement's hungry?
Or something? Yeah. Something like it's like a, it's not like a brain or like a mind, but there's something like the hunger is down. It's not in that room. Nothing's in that room. Room's not interesting. For me. I don't know if it might be for you. Maybe there's dead things. Temujin, you could do the dead thing.
I don't believe there are any dead things in the room, but logically, visiting the hungry basement alone would lead to you becoming a dead thing. And that is Broadly speaking, not.
That's really unlikely that I would be killed by the basement. I don't think that would happen.
What
Right.
would you give the initial statistical likelihood of it?
Did not take a statistics class.
Hmm.
At
It's like a
any
legacy
point.
question.
Yeah, speaking of legacy and Oculus, I think I might go get them, and I'll run and gather everybody up so we can follow Elsie to the basement if that's where we're going.
While they're off having that conversation, I'm trying to peer backwards in time at this location to see what may have happened, whether I can just roll it backwards like a reverse movie. So I'm floating there, just staring at nothing, using my time distortion in order to peer back in time, using post-cognition instead of precognition.
Sure. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Interesting. Do you... We could get this started if you want to try to grasp a key for this mystery.
Sure.
That would be... because we haven't had a roll yet. All right. So what you do for that is you are going to... Let me go to the moves tab. Let's see. Role-playing wise, have you accumulated any darkness tokens?
Nope.
Okay. Then this should be a straight roll for you. You are going to roll, your 2d6. And on an 8, or well, tell me the result, then we'll figure out what you get. Yes.
Okay. I got 9.
9. Okay, brilliant. Oh, yes. Okay, good. All right. So grasping keys is like kind of the functional, you guys have a mystery to solve, basically. And the keys are little clues and bits of the mystery that if you go to that section of the character keeper, you are going to make that, or you're going to connect each of them to one of the facets of the mystery,
Mm-hmm.
You guys out of character know a harbinger is involved. You need to figure out what's going on and why and everything. You said you're like kind of hovering in the air, like, basically like flipping backwards through, like, I'm kind of picturing like microfiche, sort of like flip, 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 like in your head. You are going to see, you back up and like, it's like little bits of this library like reappear, but not like anybody's like taking the things away. Like they're sort of like fading back into existence. And it's, at the rate that you're going, you can assume that it happened probably relatively slowly.
Like over a course of a month or so?
Perhaps, yeah. You're seeing that happen. There is, you're watching an archivist that you've seen this person before, but like for the life of you, like when you went in here and were like, oh gosh, would there be people in here? Before that, you would not have been able to place her. Just like as you're seeing her, you're like, oh yeah, that's Jen. She's kind of like walking backwards, reshelving books, doing stuff in your mind's eye. And then you get to a point where you like you face backwards enough to see one particular night, somebody like flips back like a section of like rug or something, and is backwards writing signs of an occult ritual. You recognize signs of a summoning of some sort.
And kind of
like on the ground, and then disappearing back into like chalk and organic materials. The figure flips it back over. The figure is shadowy to you in a way that is, vaguely humanoid, has hands, but you don't quite recognize them.
Sure.
Like stands up and then vanishes in your mind's eye.
Okay.
So that is our first key. Well done with the 9.
What key
And
is
I'm
that?
going to put that in the keys. Signs of an occult ritual. Division 3.
So while
Summoning.
you're typing that in, I tell
Yeah.
the rest of the group. A few weeks ago, something appeared almost like a teleportation and inscribed a ritual on the floor. And then the books slowly started vanishing, including the archivist. Almost like something was eating the memory of them.
How did
Now
we?
that you are not looking at the archivist,
Mhm.
like you know there was one, but like who the hell was it?
Yeah, I know that they used to be known to us, but now they are not.
How did we not notice this being transferring with all the power between us? Surely we would have noticed this.
Only if you remember to remember it.
Something has modified our memories.
Possibly, because I don't remember the archivist as well as I should.
Very troubling.
And this time it didn't take me being trapped for thousands of years to forget it.
Excellent.
So-
Legacy, if there was a thing that was like favor, I would give it to you. If you want some darkness tokens, just to go with that, realizing that immediately that you were being memory wiped a little bit,
Okay.
feel free to take those.
Okay.
All right, hallway crew. Are you getting this information from them, or are you heading downward?
Yeah,
I think-
if I don't know if we were too far away to hear that.
Oh, I assumed we were in the room, but yeah.
Well, Elsie left the room, and then half the party followed, and the other half stayed to float and learn
But-
things.
I mean,
Chia,
we
you were
did
coming
stop
back
to
in
talk.
Yeah, I went back
Yeah.
to
and
Yeah,
Oculus was in there with me when I was staring at
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
All right, no immediate party split then.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Cool.
no.
I mean, if leaving the two of us, me and Elsie, in the corridor, we'll just stand at opposite sides of the corridor staring at each other in
Awkwardly.
mutual distrust.
I think so. If we'll say we haven't split the party yet. Elsie, hearing about this memory eating thing, will like basically will like step to the side of the hallway away from the room that was already eaten and like take a defensive posture. Like Elsie's very scared of this, having very few memories to be eaten.
Were we
And-
going somewhere? I just float back
if-
out to the
if-
hallway.
There's a thing. First of all, I think I should sit this one out. But if you want to go in the direction of the thing and solve the problem, then there's a sort of thing that's like a mind, sort of the mind before a mind in the basement that is hungry.
And you
Could
know it's in the
always be
basement.
there. Well, directionally down, like
come on.
maybe it's the floor
Elsie.
below. I don't know, but
So you don't want to be alone, because then it could eat you by yourself, and we wouldn't be there.
I'm
to save you.
fine being alone.
Right, but think of it this way, Elsie. Some of us have hundreds of years worth of memories for these things to eat. We'll be so much more appealing to it than you'll be having, what, like 12? It's fine.
I think the thing with the mind that I don't recognize is in the basement.
Then you should come with us.
LC, you were there in my darkest time. I will always feel bonded to you. Glub glub. This thing is nothing to fear. If it's anything, I will make it my servant. I will not let it hurt you.
Fine. Okay. I think I can probably lead you in the right direction. But let's none of us
start
be responsible for anything going wrong.
Well, the first thing, make sure you don't forget your coffee.
Very important.
Oh God, it started. All right. You do not.
I would like, so one of my darkness tokens triggers is reacting with uncertainty or cowardice.
Yeah.
Or feeling frustrated or scared. Doing a lot of that. So I think if you should start getting some darkness tokens.
Yeah. So the darkness tokens are pretty much like you sort of decide on your own how hard you, or how many you get based on like how hard you committed to that. I would say that's an easy 3.
Okay. That's the number I was thinking as well.
Beautiful. All right. Then the fact that this is in division means that we do not have to spend a whole lot of time on travel. Love that for us. So you guys are basically going to head downward. You take the stairs and then Elsie sort of like feels it even further below. So you find, a freight elevator and take it down, like way down into the annals of division, where normally, you don't go there unless you need to pull something very specific out.
Should we be telling anyone at division about that?
As you get to the bottom floor, you're going to find some people from division.
Great.
Yeah. So a couple of the archivist team are going to be down there when you get there. They've set up like a little sort of base camp outside the end of a concrete hall where flickering lights are illuminating a simple windowless door. And they've got sort of stenciled onto it says Auxiliary Archive 116. You guys are going to see, just a lot of faces that like presumably work down in this area. And also Marcus Finch, standing next to the door looking very uncomfortable, wearing Division tactical field gear. I'm going to need somebody to volunteer. One of you has worked with Marcus Finch before.
Okay.
All right. Then tell me what your relationship last time ended a little bit badly. You regret it sometimes. I don't know if it was a working relationship or otherwise. That's completely up to you. But you feel kind of bad about it sometimes. And you think maybe so does he, so do they. I've just put Marcus Finch into people of interest in our little mystery thing. If you scroll over to the right, I'm going to start putting NPC names in there. So tell me, what exactly went wrong when you guys were working together?
So I think Oculus tried to make him his first new worshipper in his attempt to regain his power and his cult.
Okay.
He was kind of the first one as he had tried to regain his power.
Wow. And Marcus did not appreciate it?
Marcus did not appreciate this, but we had a good rapport. And I feel a little bit guilty that maybe I pushed it a bit too soon, the whole thing, will you be my servant? I should have waited a little bit longer to bring that out.
Built a relationship before trying to subjugate your co-worker.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Bond with Marcus.
And perhaps he felt like he could have served me, but he just wasn't ready. It just wasn't the time.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that feels right. All right. So Marcus is going to, is looking nervous. You notice as you approach that the tactical gear that Division gives out, like, clearly was not made for them. But as you guys arrive, they're going to be like, "Oh, thank God, not God, apologies. Thank the powers that be." And they're going to let you know that they were just about to send out for some of the Omen agents, as they appear to have discovered an interdimensional spatial entity that has attached itself to Division HQ.
Marcus, good to see you. Oh, I know you don't like to see me in this form. And I'm going to use my many forms of mythic animals, and I'll transfer into a merman.
Okay, can you move like that?
Do you just flop on the floor?
Like a seal.
I'm just gonna flop like a seal.
Can you breathe air like that?
Or is it more of a, like, paint me like one of your French girls?
Yes, actually that. Yes.
All right, beautiful.
It's been a while, Marcus.
Marcus, I don't know if you have any artistic inclination in you, but this would be a lovely thing to paint. I don't know if you have a sketch pad on you or anything. No.
No,
you
not
see,
the time.
Marcus has a notepad, which is going to go into the back pocket very quickly. When you say that. The apologies that it's not under better circumstances, kind of nods at you where you are on the ground. Lets you know that
Now, is it a normal mermaid or a reverse mermaid?
It's a merman. And
is it a normal merman or a reverse merman?
Or it's like stripes.
I'm going to say a normal, so he's kind of trying to walk with flippers. But he knows Marcus likes this form.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. All right. Marcus will kind of like get down with you then. Kind of like, lower to the ground a little bit. Is sort of fiddling with, like pencil, writing utensil. Lets you know that, I mean, he's been transferred down here to kind of work with some of the higher profile, slightly more dangerous artifacts that Division keeps, studies, locks away occasionally, and happened to stumble upon what they've designated the parasitic library. As far as they can tell, he took one step in and like recognized intel from the archive, recognized items that it has taken, and they're suspecting a Harbinger class monster, either in the library, involved in the security breach. Basically, they need to figure out a way to detach the library. Ideally, also remove whatever it's taken from Division. He knows that he saw like some weaponry in there that like should not have been. Little fuzzy on the details right now that he's not looking at it. But presumably, if somebody else gets a hold of this information, they will probably use it to unlock the doors to the apocalypse, which is the whole thing that you guys in Division are trying to prevent. So our mystery has 4 parts. You guys are looking for who brought the library here, how to dislodge it, and what sort of interesting information somebody might have looked for, or might have wanted to siphon out of Division. Also, the Door of Power is just, what do you think they're going to do with the information? How do you think they're going to use it to bring about the apocalypse?
Marcus, you said that there may be a Harbinger. Would it have any sort of physical form that you can think of? Would it be this sort of dark, shadowy figure that would cast summoning or some sort of sorceress rituals?
I mean, that sounds like...
Because that's what happened upstairs when the
That
library
sounds
disappeared.
well within the purview of the Harbingers. In this game, we haven't really established like a cast of potential Harbingers. So what you guys find in the library, some of the characters, somebody you encounter is going to be it. I don't determine that, you guys do. So when you guys have 4 or more keys, you guys are going to come up with a theory, roll, and if the roll turns out well, you will be correct. In which case you'll be designating like who the Harbinger is, what they're doing, what secrets they want, who brought the library here. Could be the Harbinger, could be somebody else. It's up to you guys. So yeah, summoning a semi-sentient library somewhere is presumably within the purview of some entities. It could be an occult thing. It could be somebody else with access to time skipping or dimension rifts. They just don't know. They don't have as much information to go on. But like what you saw, probably, yes, is related.
And Marcus Finch, is it? Why did you get assigned to this? I mean, not to put any doubt on your capabilities, but a parasitic library does not appear to be within your specialty set.
Well, libraries are, unfortunately. And
Do you regret that you were a librarian? I don't understand.
Well, libraries are within the purview. Marcus is going to let you know that Marcus is human. However,
Is he?
It's a good question. Marcus has already stepped into the library once and emerged. So functionally, what they would like to do is have you guys go in, search around, because they are anticipating that this thing is dangerous. However, Marcus also has an extensive knowledge of like Division archives and could probably recognize at least like things that belong to Division, at least while he's looking at them. Also, the chief archivist is indisposed at the time. One of the other ones says as they're walking by.
I'm going to... Sorry, go ahead.
Disappeared? The chief archivist is the one that disappeared?
Unclear.
Does anyone here remember the chief archivist's name or face?
Chief archivist is...
that's in character. Yeah. That's Elsie asking the crowd of archivists and Marcus's.
Yeah.
Does anyone here remember the name and face of the archivist? Like 1, 2, 3. What's their name?
You're mostly going to get Rob. Marcus is going to like kind of like take a second and like chime in a little bit late. Like, yeah, Rob.
Marcus.
So that wasn't the archivist.
I need you to look into my eyes. You are uncertain of what's going on right now, right? I want you to open up to me, and we're going to find out what's going on with you. Okay? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, Marcus. Have you met Marcus before? Do you think?
It's possible that I have met Marcus. It is possible that I have hung out in the back of a room while Oculus was doing something weird to Marcus.
Okay, that's fair. That's valid.
That's in case I need to spend a bond on the upcoming roll.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair.
All right. So are you going with You Can't Hide Your Heart from Me? Is that what you're doing?
Yes, I'm going to cast that, and before I do that, I'm also trying I am asking someone to open their emotions to me, which is one of my darkness token keys. which feels
brilliant. Yeah.
like a 2 because we're just sort of introducing it as we're using it.
Yeah, go for it.
Having now accrued 5, I'm going to spend 3 to go down to 2.
That's a good plan.
Because things go really badly if I fail this, like really badly. Like we don't have a Marcus anymore if I fail this.
Yeah.
Okay, Marcus. Be brave because you're about to see some stuff.
Yeah, he's gonna take a second and just kind of like.
Okay.
Okay.
We get the right number. We get a 9.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. So you are sensitive to the surface thoughts and strongest feelings. I mean, you're going to get a lot of trepidation. Like this is sort of a thing where, you work at division, you know that the omens are going to have power over you at some point. This is fast though. So surface level trepidation. You are going to get to ask 2 more questions.
Yes.
To have Marcus answer.
I am going to start with what are you hiding?
What are you hiding? Marcus is hiding that they saw somebody or something in there. Right before Marcus turned around and walked out, they made contact with somebody. And I say somebody because their face was kind of changing and shifting in a way that is very similar to Temujin. Wearing like a tweed jacket, pressed slacks. So like from the neck down looked like, a librarian. But they looked like people that Marcus knew, like in the face. Like old agents, maybe like the odd omen, maybe a little bit of a flash of Oculus for a second, like, or a different version of Oculus's face. And Marcus is very, very afraid that letting people know that means he is like, it's one of those, like, if I don't talk about it, then hopefully the worst thing won't happen. But they're very afraid that they've done something to him that is not reversible because
Marcus is worried that the thing he saw has done something to Marcus.
Yeah, it kind of goes into that memory loss thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and it would also presumably get him like disappeared by division or whatever.
Minimally, like a padded room and lots and lots of tests for like upwards of months.
Yeah. So I've got a bunch of options for my second question, one of which is mechanically relevant. So I want to talk through that one first. My last question is, what don't you realize you know? Draw a line between a key and a facet of the mystery. Declare an irrevocable truth about the mystery.
All right.
I could pick that one. I have a couple questions about it. First, we only have one key right now. Our key is the signs of an occult ritual written in a division library. And I could connect that to Harbinger, Doors of Power, Secrets Within, and Who Brought the Library Here.
Yeah, so you would basically choose one of those and be like, all right, this key is the Harbinger. Like the signs of an occult ritual, like the summoning, that key pertains to the Harbinger. The Harbinger is somebody who brought them there. The obvious thing is to connect it to who brought the library here, which isn't necessarily the same as the Harbinger. Right. But also
because the Harbinger could be something. The Harbinger could be something in the library.
Yeah.
I'm a little hesitant to use this because we only have one key.
Right. I would say if you want to hold on to that for a little bit, I don't know if it's technically in the rules, but I would let you look into his eyes at a later time and see that sort of flash of insight later, since, if you want to hold that one question for a bit, you can certainly do that.
I think I would rather do something less useful right now and more fun, which is and someone else do something useful eventually. I'd like to ask, who or what do you love above all else?
Ooh. Oh, interesting. I'm so tempted to say the barista. Oh god. I won't, but like
don't be falling in love with the
barista.
Don't fall in love with the harbinger barista.
You should say the barista. I mean, there's no reason not to.
We all know that if you do that, barista's becoming the harbinger already. So
you're right, and I cannot stop myself. All right, so
I love it.
Yes, the barista upstairs. Does anybody know the barista's name? Is it one of those things where like
doesn't it change?
The barista
doesn't it change with the name tag? The name tag changes.
Yeah, the name tag changes every day. Somehow always the person who's working somehow always borrowed somebody else's name tag.
The barista is always making little jokes on her name tag. Her real name is Tess. I've seen it in her mind.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
today her name tag was a picture of a koala hanging on to a tree with angry eyebrows. But her name is Tess.
Okay. All right, Tess is going on our people of interest.
Okay.
Great.
So after like slipping into his mind and pulling out these truths, I like had like my hands like on his shoulders, and then I like go up on tiptoes and lean in to whisper in his ear, "You should go for it. It'll go well." And I pat him on or I'm saying it, and I pat him on the cheek and then walk past him to like look around the room.
All right, Oculus, you don't know exactly what Elsie just said to Marcus, but like the sort of like smile that he's got right now. You should have been able to do that.
Yeah. Why weren't you that way with me?
I'm gonna float over behind Marcus. Do you want us to go into the library now?
Marcus would very much appreciate that now. Yeah. The rest of the archivists are going to offer. They're basically going to offer Marcus to you as like a field liaison, as you know, probably the most qualified person to go in and like recognize any division files that need to be removed. But they're guessing that you guys will be the best prepared or the best able to figure out how to detach this thing, and ideally also while you're in there figure out why somebody brought it here in the first place, like what they were going for.
Okay, have we stepped into the room yet?
We're about to.
Not yet, but you certainly can anytime you want.
Before we do that, I'm going to use my Mother of Monsters ability. So I'm going to change back into my beautiful form with eyes everywhere. And from one of the eyes, a creature bursts forth. It's got the body of a cheetah and the face of a truffle pig. And it's going to basically act like a truffle pig does, trying to find scents and trails of people or trails of any magic or anything that might help us.
Oh my god. Okay, so you're going to roll for that.
Yeah, so that's my Mother of Monsters ability. I can birth
terrifying monsters of beauty.
Yeah.
God. It sounds awful, but it also sounds really cool. All right.
Oh. 7. Oh dear.
Oh boy.
Oh damn it! I don't have any darkness tokens.
You say you didn't have any darkness points to spend on that?
Do you have any darkness tokens?
Can you say? That's a big. Can we say I got some for with Marcus trying to get him to be my servant again.
Reacting with spider arrogance. Yeah.
Spider arrogance.
I'm gonna say you can immediately burn, like grab one and immediately use it on this for
such
that.
Such a kind GM.
Yeah, we're just getting started. It's fine.
Yeah.
So
okay. The child is perfect and obedient. So describe what dark powers it has. Well, it has the ability to sense magic, sense the traces of magical beings to try and help us trying to help us find out what happened here.
All right. I love that. That's excellent. All right. So you crack open the door. Marcus has been loaded up with like various sorts of like a kind of like a radio station sort of. You can, and like you guys are gonna walk in, and I mean, you're in a library. Like Temujin, the scent of like books is just everywhere. Like this is the closest this is the most you've blended into anywhere, probably. It's just it's dark wood, it's stacks and stacks of books. As far as the eye can see, there is sort of like you hear sort of like a shuffling from like far off in the stacks that sort of speaks to somebody being there. Who hasn't talked in a hot second? Legacy. What evidence of habitation do you see as you take a look through this like labyrinthine sort of series of bookshelves?
At one of the tables, there's a number of books that are open, scattered out.
Okay.
Like someone's doing research, and obviously there's a cup of steaming hot coffee that's sitting right there.
Can I do a quick scan of the shelves, and especially the books that are open, and see if there's any pattern to what has been pulled into this library?
Sure. Are you trying to grasp the key, or are you just sort of...
Yeah, I think I'll try to grasp a key. I also don't have any darkness tokens, so it should be interesting to see how that goes.
All right. It's a straight roll.
If you drink a dark roast, it gives you a darkness token.
Yeah. All right. Let me know what your result is.
That is a 9.
How? Holy shit. Okay. All right. You're going to find... Sorry, we've got like 20 options for me to do. Interesting. So you are going to find you look through the stacks of books, and it's a fair amount of paperbacks and like journals. You see some like handwritten notes in some of the margins. Obviously, what we're looking for is like the apocalypse. That is a very strong theme. I mean, it's kind of throughout the entirety of Division. But you're looking through and you're finding, the ancient, like a beaten up journal with like, where somebody sort of like tried to sketch out branching paths of like popular futures. And the one that sticks out to you the most is an ancient scroll. You kind of push the books aside, and like laid out on the table is a scroll that from, let's see, the civilization, the language, it is similar to what you saw like at the end of the world. Like bits of like detritus, planetary stuff kind of floating around. The glimpses of like whatever culture like imprinted on you in that time, whether it was human or otherwise. you're getting the vibe. The markings are like consistent with that. And the warnings inside it are alarmingly current. It's warning of events and people that you are recognizing. I want you to give me a sense of, give me something you saw or did that you're concerned is going to lead the apocalypse recently. Like some sort of action. Was there a job that you failed at, or I don't know, somebody that you let go?
The last job that I was on for Division it seemed like it would be a fairly simple kind of thing. We were just retrieving an artifact. But while we were retrieving it from a hidden cave that was connected to some sewers underground, someone woke up. And I say someone, but what I mean is there was a corpse there and some spirit or shadow inhabited it, and it followed us halfway back to Division. I thought I'd gotten rid of it, but sometimes dead things can track me. And I think maybe this dead thing was not just one of the random dead things that wake up and follow me around. I think maybe this dead thing was something else.
Perfect. Brilliant. All right. So that's going to sort of flash through your mind as you're reading across this skull. You're seeing the shadow, taking form, journeying for many miles, finding the source of all knowledge, and just, oh shit kind of reaction. You want to take some darkness tokens for that? That is a very good flashback.
That's probably.
And I feel like you've got something in your role play things that would fall into that.
Can I ask when
confusion?
When Temujin kind of uncovers this scroll, I think if it's made clear to all of the rest of us, I think if there is any sort of like drawings on this scroll, or if it's written in any sort of like poetic form, if there's any sort of artistic merit to it whatsoever, I think that I would like to feast on this key to try to get sort of like a clarifying question about it. I want to like absorb what comes off of this scroll.
Sure. I'm going to say the handwriting is beautiful. Kind of calligraphy-esque, which I think, minimally would qualify that. So
cool.
Go ahead. Is that a roll, or is that something that you just do?
That's yeah, it's something I just do. It's the better to eat you with, my dear, which is so the keeper describes how my body violently changes in response to sort of like absorbing this, and I'm gonna take a condition also.
Oh, okay. I think since this is a written material, I think it's going to start like at the bottom of your feet, and kind of you're going to have like these words sort of like scrolling up your body, but not just on your skin. Like you open your mouth and it's across your teeth. You open your eyes and it's like text across your eyes that's sort of like. Probably a little bit dizzying if you, Marcus is very like quickly going to like turn around and like not deal with that. Minimally, yeah, but
cool.
Yeah, violent. I guess it's not exactly violent. What do you think? What condition do you think works with that the best?
I think since it's like all encompassing me, I think obsessed. I think that like now that these beautiful words are a part of me, I'm going to be really like attached to tracking down more, which leads me to my first of two questions that I get to ask you, which is how does my blood purify the key and lead me to another?
Blood. Okay. Yeah. We're not so much blood, but you are going to. you are going to, as you see, the ink sort of spirals across you, you are going to kind of lean forward and like, it's up to you, like how you expel the ink, if it just like kind of flies out of your body, if you're like vomiting it onto the ground. But the ink is going to like kind of drip down off the table and like resolve into foot and handprints that are trailing off deeper into the library.
Great. Cool. And then my second question is, what do my eyes feast on that others have missed as I'm kind of going through this experience of devouring the scroll?
You are, sorry, I'm writing this into the keys real quick. All right. What do your eyes feast on that somebody else did not see? You are going to see that the corpse or the shadow is a serpent. It's the thing that was awakened is, involved in the end of the world. But is not bringing it about for its own sake. It's just one bit of it. Whatever followed you here is, unfortunately, a servant to something greater.
Cool. I think as this ink expels out of me and I have this realization, I'll share about I'll share what I've discovered with the group and say, we have to follow these footsteps. I can't tell you how delicious the ink is. We've got to go now.
So you're saying that was
yes.
You're saying that was a tasty recipe.
Yes. A tasty recipe for the apocalypse, I suppose, but tasty nonetheless.
Yeah. Kiara, a good portion of this library looks delicious.
Cool. Okay.
Like, this is, obviously it's a library, like there's knowledge first, but if you could just like set up camp in like a corner of this, you would always be fed. That. Like walking in, you can just sort of feel, the parts of like gaining knowledge that are intrinsically, creative. It thrives here.
Cool. Yeah, I think this is hard for me, and it gets harder the further we venture into the library. But right now, I'm doing my best to contain it because I'm so obsessed with devouring more of the thing that I just devoured.
That feels right. All right. Last question before you guys head further in. Do you want Marcus to? Are you going to try to take Marcus along, or are you going to let Marcus kind of stay by the door, set up camp? Give you guys some walkie-talkies.
I think Oculus will try to convince Marcus to come along.
It would be safest if he came with us. After all, if we didn't want Elsie to stay alone, we don't want Marcus to stay alone.
Marcus, I demand that you come with us. We will need your confirmation of what you saw before and aren't telling anybody about.
I think you should. Yeah. I think you should stay behind Marcus, but that's just me.
Marcus trusts you the most, Legacy. Okay, you're gonna. Safety is probably like the best argument, but like, he'll also kind of like wince when Elsie goes, the thing that you're not talking about, and then, stuff some more materials into the pockets and kind of like, and you guys go forward. All right. So
before we go forward, let's take a 5-minute bio break.
Beautiful. Love that. Everybody get an XP, and I'll see you in 5 minutes.
Excellent. All right. See you in 5 minutes, everyone.
Yep. Right. So we're
And we are
following
back.
muddy footprints.
Inky.
Oh, the screens have gone all wonky as always. Anyway, go ahead.
Inky footprints.
Do you need a little time to mess
Inky
with that?
footprints.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'll do
All
it
right.
while it's happening. Always does
All right.
this.
Allie is
plan-
now in charge.
Everyone ready? Now there's confetti everywhere. We're having a party. That's my ruling.
As long as it's not glitter.
I mean, confetti is just really small shredded paper. We could make that happen at some point.
It's true.
Very small
all right.
books. Very, very small books.
So you all were heading
Deeper into
just
the
gonna be
library.
moving around. Yeah, heading deeper into the library, deeper into the stacks. So you guys saw just now like signs that somebody's there researching the end of the world and a particular prophecy. And Chiara like expelled some ink that turned into footprints and handprints leading deeper into the stacks. As you head into the stacks, let's see, who hasn't talked in a hot second? Oculus.
Yes.
You hear some whispers, like somebody is talking from the other, like from a couple of shelves, a couple of area, or a couple of bookshelves in between you. You're hearing
Aisles?
just like whispers or aisles. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
I heard it.
couple aisles away. What whispers of forbidden secrets do you catch like floating towards you from other areas of the library as you're heading deeper into the stacks?
Kind of here on the breeze is like, it's kind of like this talking to itself, like, this is how I make things my slaves. This is how I destroy the world. This is how I open portals.
Okay. So something else that wants to rule the world is in here.
Yes.
I
Or
love
at least
that.
the echoes of it.
Or
Yeah.
at least, yeah.
And Oculus wants this knowledge, so he's very quick to head in that direction.
All right, Oculus, you're heading in the direction. You're following the whispers. You turn a corner and almost run into something, like down the next aisle that, like, is sort of like carrying a couple of books, looks to be reshelving them. Turns to you and has wearing a slightly worn tweed jacket, pressed slacks. The smell of like old books and also ozone suddenly hits you as you round this corner. And tell me, who does this person look like to you? Pick somebody from your memories.
I think this person might look like one of my former worshippers.
Ooh.
Possibly one of the ones who took me down, but he's not quite sure.
All right. So, a face that you recognize that was once beloved, but has, been mired in resentment and also just, time since that occurred. Shifts a little oddly, like as it turns to you. Like there's a little bit of like kind of a lag effect, I would say. Where like the face is similar, but like, maybe the mouth doesn't quite match the words all the time. But this person who is not quite your worshiper, is just going to be like, well, hello there and welcome to the library.
I know you.
I've
seen you.
I'll know you very well soon.
Elsie is looking at Marcus to see if this matches the description. The clothes match the description that they saw on Marcus's head.
This is the one. Elsie, you were trapped in that crate for a very long time.
Yep.
Were there other mannequins in there?
Yes, and I'd like to use a move related to that, actually.
Hey.
One of the the non-basic playbook move I selected, I lost the page, is called I was alone for a long time, I think.
Why does this thing look like Melville too?
It was just me for a long time. I spent many years alone before I was found by division. I've learned the wisdom of solitude, the strength and loneliness. Unlike other PCs, I may create a bond with myself. I spend a lot of my time alone with the mannequins from that container. I brought them with me to not just mannequins, but also dressmaker dolls. I brought them with me to this division facility, and I spend a lot of time making clothes for them, augmenting them, cutting into and resewing the torsos that work like mine as practice. I would recognize them anywhere.
All right. I think the librarian for you has an almost human quality, but as you're watching the librarian interact, Oculus is like, I know you. You are seeing one of those mannequins. The mouth isn't quite moving. You're probably getting the voice a different way, but like the movements are sort of like, along the hinges that you recognize, in a way that like also kind of like, triggers your memory pretty easily.
Yeah. I have marked one bond with myself.
Beautiful. It is going to turn to you, Elsie, and say, I feel unspoken words vibrating around you like a beehive. You have so many secrets that are desperate to burst out, don't you?
I don't think our kind should lie to other people like this.
What is the lie?
Let's find out. And I'm going to reach out and try to touch it and absorb the powers with which it's fooling people.
Oh, nice.
All right. This feels like you are unleashing the dark within you to enforce your will on something, physically, socially, emotionally. So you can spend darkness tokens and roll. On an 8 to 10, you're going to wield the darkness with control and ease, and you can certainly do that. On an 11 plus, your control falters and you're going to go too far. And on a 7, you will have underestimated the librarian. So go ahead, add darkness tokens, roll, and let me know.
I'm going to spend the 2 I have to go down to 0.
Okay.
I got a 10.
Ooh, okay, so you're going to choose 2. If you go to the moves, this is like the red box. So which 2 do you want?
What conditions can I afflict? Like, could it be anything, or?
Yeah, I would say like generic conditions are things like wounded or rageful, angry, frightened. I think each of you have like slightly different conditions that I can inflict upon you.
Yeah.
So depending on what you do, we'll kind of like decide on one, I think.
So first I'm going to pick get what I want from them. And what I want is for them to drop their camouflage so we can all see them for what they are.
Okay.
And second, I'm actually, I think that might be expose a weakness or flaw. I'm going to pick get what you want from them and expose a weakness or flaw.
Okay.
So what I want from them is to absorb this power out of them. And I want to expose a weakness or flaw. Okay.
I love that. So you did not avoid reprisals, harm, or cost.
No, I did not.
So I am going to throw a condition at you. Let me see what might be appropriate.
My basics are unreachable, defensive, introspective, and obsessed.
I'm gonna put one down. Actually, I'm gonna say overwhelmed is going to be an option. because what you are absorbing is, so the weakness or flaw of the librarian is that it is it's basically like an amalgamation of memories of people that the library has devoured. That's just sort of like sentient enough, walking around enough to like take care of the place and hopefully deal with minor threats and or confuse them and or get them to stay. So the weakness or flaw is that it's kind of not its own creature. Damaging the library will damage it, and kind of vice versa. What you are doing, though, when you absorb the ability for it to take these different things, is you're going to take in just a shit ton of devoured memories. And some of them are going to belong to the other PCs. Some of them are going to belong to various division members. So you're just basically going to get slammed with like decades of like little bits of information and experiences and just, yeah, all this other like human stuff that you have sort of experienced as at a surface level, from, you know, watching the world and everything. But now you're in it in a way that is presumably has not happened previously.
I think what this looks like is Elsie has like taken quick steps forward and sort of grabbed this librarian around their like wrist. And as they're absorbing all these memories, they fall down to one knee and then like to both knees, they're sort of slumping down, but they're still holding on tightly. As they are, what all the other PCs see is the back of their head changing channels to different people whose memories are flowing into their head, because this body is just a memory of somebody. It is like flowing through all these other memories uncontrollably.
I mean, that's also, you know, you guys are going to see like the front face version of this from the librarian. It's going to go.
They won't see it on Elsie's face because Elsie wears a mask.
Yeah. But you guys will see like the face of like somebody like kind of horrified. Maybe you recognize them, maybe you don't. Just sort of flickering through and then like flowing into Elsie, and then the next one, and then the next one, and the next one. Until eventually like the librarian kind of is going to shrink a little bit, and eventually you're just going to have slightly worn tweed jacket, pressed slacks, smell of old books. As you do this,
on struck or like I sucked the body out of them.
Basically, yes. It was kind of a body, not really. So as you do this, the library is going to react. Sections of shelves are going to sort of drag themselves into new positions. You know, the stacks is going to like violently rearrange itself in an attempt to protect itself. Do I have a volunteer for somebody who is going to become separated from the rest?
I think that it might make sense if it was me, because I've been sort of obsessively following these ink tracks. So I think it would make sense if it was me.
Oh my God, I wanted you to say that so bad. Yes. Okay, Chiara. We're going to pop back to the main group in a second to deal with Elsie flipping out. Chiara, the hand and footprints, you know, you'd sort of stepped away to kind of follow them down another trail. Didn't quite realize you'd gotten a few steps away from everybody else until, you know, another shelf kind of grates into place behind you.
Cool.
As you follow along, though, you notice that the ink, like, again, it's like some of the handprints are on the ground. Some of the footprints kind of like lead up onto a shelf and then around. And eventually they just sort of form into like a trail, like a for lack of a better, like a slug slime kind of trail leading off into a dark corner where you hear a low sort of whispery voice that says, "Hello, fellow interloper."
Cool. I'm gonna take 2 darkness tokens for following the object of my obsession, embodying that condition. And I'm gonna immediately respond and say, "Hello, who's that hiding in the corner?"
Hiding in the corner. You are going to hear sort of like a noise as something uncoils from like behind one of the shelves, and you see it's a worm. It's a very big worm.
Bookworm. It's a bookworm.
Exactly what it is. Yeah, it's got sort of like a tattered cloak, so like, you know, it sort of like stands up enough to like, you know, make eye contact with you, but there's just constant like undulation going on under there.
Well, aren't you a horrid little thing? Don't worry, people say that about me too.
Oh, I'm certain. Would you like a bite to eat? Or perhaps something else within the library? But whatever it is, I'm sure you'll forget soon enough, just as I have.
I'm ravenous. But do you know what it is that I like to eat?
One parasite recognizes another.
Interesting.
I myself am quite interested in secrets.
I'm interested in art, and I find often they're the same thing, don't you?
He does. There are he wants to thank you and your party for you know, basically taking care of the librarian for a time. He's spent quite a long time, you know, just hiding among the shelves, not taking too much. But now that there isn't a caretaker as such, he can feel absolutely free to take whatever he likes. And he'll kind of like shift forward a little bit. And I mean, the head is like a leech, like just teeth everywhere.
Am I sensing, is there anything like on this? Does this worm have anything within it that I want to consume? Like does this worm have any, you know, it's consumed secrets in the past. Does it have anything else that intrigues me?
Very, like, I wouldn't say like there's an innate artistic sensibility here. But you know, if you were to try to internalize what the worm has internalized, like, sure.
Okay. I think I'm not there yet, and I'm going to say, well, whether we helped you intentionally or unintentionally, it seems you've been here longer than we have. Is there anything you could tell me about this place? Any delicious places to go, art to find, secrets to uncover?
I would be delighted to assist you in finding whatever you would like. But before all that, what about an exchange? Can you offer me anything delectable?
I think that I have this worm trades in secrets, and I think that in one of my powers of darkness is mystical power that I stole from my victims, which I think includes, you know, for victims that I siphoned their creativity from, I keep it. Like it's still within me. It powers and fuels me. So I think I've got this worm trades in secrets. So I think I'm pulling out kind of like from somewhere within me, it's forming in kind of like a shadow of like dark and light and something like that. A tome from an artist that I hope this worm would recognize, which is kind of like their forgotten, unfinished work that never made it out because I, devoured this artist's creativity before they could finish it.
Ooh. Oh, I love that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll take that.
Cool. And I don't know if that should count as unleashing the dark or not, because I'm using my power, but
I think that falls under the purview of things that you can just kind of do.
Yeah. Cool. I'll pull that out.
All right. Yeah. As always, like if you want to roll for something, absolutely. But that feels like something that is just sort of innate.
Cool.
All right. Beautiful. All right. Yeah. Yeah. He'll pounce on that. Absolutely. Watch your hands, watch your fingers. But yeah, he'll yeah, pounce on that, swallow it. You'll kind of see it sort of like down his body.
Cool. Yeah, I think he actually does get a couple of my fingers, and then they just like appear back like brush strokes painted back on. And I watch him eat it.
Yeah. Oh, he thinks you'll be an excellent addition to the library.
Ooh, scary.
Yeah, he hopes that he'll be able to tempt you to stay. You could really make it an excellent place for. Well, ideally, you would grow fat and happy here, but also so would he. Mm-hmm. All right. What do you want him to show you or point you towards?
I think I'm going to say there's something we found in the library before. It was a scroll, and it described beautifully, deliciously, what the end of the world might be like. I want something more, something that tastes like that I can feed on further both of my aims at once, something to devour and something to help solve this mystery.
All right. The worm is going to kind of like and let you know that would that he could point you exactly to where those are. You're going to have to seek out the formless anamnesis between. There are other residents of the library. This one is not nearly as delicious as you. But look for a tall figure. They have been, picking books off the shelves. Not many that interest this creature specifically, but they did take some rather interesting files from the worm that perhaps he had been saving that concern that topic.
Interesting. Okay. I think I am off in pursuit of this person if I can reunite with everyone else on the way, but definitely like half my thoughts are still back with this worm and what he might be able to show me if I were to return to him.
Yeah. Let me know anytime you want to trigger Torn Between if you feel like you.
Oh, yeah. I think definitely I'm yes, I think that I should do it now because I think this is the moment where I'm feeling like, hey, there's a chance for me to stay. And there's someone who invited me to do so, but there's also this mission that we're currently on.
All right. So your options are you can let your monstrous nature show, describe the damage your outburst causes, and mark one ruin. Describe how you diminish your power and conform to what society demands and lose any darkness tokens that you've gained. Or you can spend a bond with somebody, and you can do this with a flashback. There isn't a whole lot of other people here, like for role playing, but you can describe how they directly or inadvertently help you center yourself.
Yeah. Okay. I think that actually, what I'm going to do is let my monstrous nature show, because I think that I have been holding back, feeling hungry this whole time, and I have this creature near me that's tempting me. I'm surrounded by things that are delicious, and so I think, everyone before sort of saw my muted hunger absorbing this scroll, but now it bursts out of me uncontrollably. Instead of a human form, I am just, what this worm sees is kind of like a black hole of shapes that move and change. For a second, you see what looks like could be a candle sitting on the counter, but then it changes just as quick, and then it's vast array of cubist shapes. It's a bridge crossing between two land masses. It's a million things at once, and it just, I think, explodes out of me, and all of the shelves that are on either side of me for the whole length of this hallway have now been absorbed into my form. So I kind of take on this dusty kind of wood sense of the library to my actual form. I start to smell maybe even as the librarian did. And now also just the tomes that were near me that previously I could feel how interesting and how full of information they were. They are now, as dull as reading through a phone book. They're just the life that was in them is no longer there.
That's pretty terrifying.
Oh, yeah. The worm is going to, as you are doing this, you are just going to be vaguely aware of this, twitching, writhing presence, just getting the hell out of Dodge. Maybe at one point the worm thought if you stayed long enough, the library would absorb you and then he would eat you.
Mm-hmm.
Not anymore.
Fair enough. Cool.
You are not on the menu at present.
All right. I will take a ruin, and then feeling kind of ashamed of what I've done, I will try my best to slink back to the party.
All right. So while Chiara is doing this, what is everybody else doing now that the librarian is gone? The shelves have rearranged themselves, and your mannequin is glitching out. Not mannequin, dressmaker doll.
Well, we still need to find what brought the library here. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to try to see where death has walked through this space. Right? Death touches everything, and we're in a room full of dead trees. So if nothing else, there is an awful lot of dead plant spirits between the books and the shelves, and the librarian is no more for the moment. So I'm gonna close my eyes for a second, turn around, and then open them and look at a reflective surface, even if that's just a glossy, varnished side of a shelf, and see what death has to say to me.
All right. Go ahead and roll. Spend any darkness tokens if you have them, if you want to.
I will spend 2. See how I go with that.
Death takes the shape of you as your death was presumably getting sucked into a time portal and visiting the end of times. What?
Yeah, kind of.
What do you look like? What does your corpse look like?
It's more my reflection than my corpse. It's like the reflection of what I was before I died in any reflective surface.
Oh.
So anytime I see my reflection, I actually see death personified as me, as I used to be. And when I'm not looking at that reflection, I don't remember what I used to look like. So
I love that. It's terrible.
The self that I was before I was disintegrated by falling into the time stream was mid-transition, masked femme, and so was, again, fairly androgynous, kind of dark-haired, dark-eyed, little bit mousy, the kind of person who vanishes into the corners of a room. Somehow, as the self that no one recognizes, I'm much more charismatic than I used to be. And death is almost invisible, so kind of makes sense.
Yeah. All right, go ahead and roll.
I have a catastrophic success.
Okay.
I rolled an 11, and with my darkness tokens, that gives me a lot.
All right. So you're going to pick one from the good list and one from the bad list.
Yeah. All right. So the good list. What important item or knowledge was taken from here? Thinking specifically of whoever was drawing the library here, what they were trying to get. I don't know if that's how that works.
Yeah.
And
okay.
From the bad list, death lingers and holds you. Mark 1 condition. So death sticks around. Not only is death there in my reflection, death is actively there in my reflection with those eyes full of endless darkness, just watching to see what I do. And as a result, I feel extremely distracted.
Yeah, you're looking into like just a normal like filing cabinet, and like in the little metal section of it, you see a glimpse of your face like crumbling into stardust.
Yeah,
this is fine. This is
fine. Totally fine.
We're gonna not worry about it. All right, you are going to see. Ooh. You are going to find a division filing cabinet. Kind of like the way this is going to work, the way I think this is like most cinematic, is you are going to kind of cast yourself out in a way, ask death to show you this thing, and you are going to meet these fragments of knowledge given form, like these scraps of like paper, maybe like film or other sort of like, lightweight material, are going to sort of coalesce, form into like a small critter, and it's going to lead you a little bit through these stacks and up to a division filing cabinet that has been unlocked, left ajar, and from what is left in it, you can tell that this harbinger is going for a very particular prophecy regarding the end of the world, and is working towards checking the steps to make that happen. Let's see, we had you give us the shadow inhabiting the corpse. Legacy. You want to give us a couple more signs of the end of this world that you might recognize from Imperia, that this group is going to have to look out for going forward?
As we're moving through the library, we can see that there's books of strange alphabetic characters, which are from Imperia, and their mathematical formula describing how to change reality, which has been used to bring this library out of where it used to be to where it is now.
Oh. You're gonna flash back to that occult ritual. I think it might be mathematical.
Okay.
Which, I mean, they're basically the same thing. But the symbols that you saw, maybe they're empiric. Maybe it's the same thing. I mean, really, physics is just one step away from witchcraft anyway, at the best of times. So mathematical / occult ritual to get the library here.
They're just transphysic storage, which could easily have done in order to create a library to the side. There are caches of empiric data stored throughout the universe, supposedly. As it exploded in Imperia, the bits and pieces could have leaked into this universe.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got my own sidereal fortress that I can go to that has remnants of the old laboratories and such that's my fortress.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. All right. Oculus, how are you feeling about all this?
I'd say Oculus is feeling apprehensive, but also excited to possibly find some more worshippers, depending how things go.
Speaking of, let's throw somebody in there. Oculus, you are going to hear a voice, not just, like a whispery secrets of here's how we control the world voice, but like an actual human voice from kind of across the way as, God, do you know this woman? There is a woman in like office clothes. She's got a division ID badge that looks a little screwy as you glance at it. Frazzled, tired, is going to kind of stumble in and be like, "Are you the rescue party?"
We're always the rescue party.
Yes. You see her like kind of, and then go, You know what? It can't get worse. Like the visible facial change. And she's going to.
Yes, we're the rescue party. You may want to move over by Malcolm.
Malcolm, who's that?
I point over to
Marcus. That's out of character.
Sorry, to Marcus.
Marcus, yeah.
I mean, in fairness, she wouldn't have recognized Marcus either.
You may move over by Marcus.
Yeah, she'll kind of like. You're gonna need to kind of give her like very clear like point direction, because if you go, oh, take a left, like you're gonna hear her sort of stumbling around. Her short-term memory is screwed.
Isn't Marcus with us though?
Marcus, you left Marcus kind of by. Oh wait, no, you didn't leave Marcus.
I said we should.
Marcus
He's been wandering behind us. Yeah,
he could have been separated from us by library walls, though.
That's a good explanation for me forgetting that he existed.
When the library rearranged itself.
Yeah, that's good. All right. So perhaps Marcus is somebody else that you're just gonna have to find as you go. She's gonna kind of like look at you, Oculus, and be like, "Have we met? You look familiar."
Don't you remember me, Zoe? It is Zoe, isn't it?
She's gonna like pick up her name, her division badge, and look at it. And it is like there are letters, but they don't mean anything to you. Like it's just gibberish written on it. And she's going to be like, I don't know if that feels right. I don't know what else it would be though. So
trust me, it's Zoe.
Zoe, all right.
Yeah, trust me, it's Zoe. You knew me when I was at my greatest.
Don't think she's that old, Oculus.
No, she knew me. Yes, you knew me, didn't you? Would you like to follow me again? I can give you mass power.
Oculus, not now.
It feels like you're going for darkness tokens.
Yes.
I think you should take. I'm good with like 3-ish. You're not.
3?
It doesn't seem like you're trying to force her.
I'm trying to. It's more kind of feel others are beneath me, kind of maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right, that works too.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you feel like that's 4, you can take 4.
I'll go 3. I think it's 3.
All right. Beautiful. Yeah, she'll kind of like look at you confusedly and be like, "Did I follow you before?"
Yes, you did.
You did.
You're a good servant. You got me many coffees.
Yeah, you'll see her hands kind of like twitch and she'll like look around, not immediately see a coffee maker. Yeah, we'll put her on auto follow for you. You are now in charge of Zoe.
Oh, excellent. Yes, worshiper. Yes.
God.
By the way, I have to say thank you to the person who donated $150
Oh, wow.
and dedicated it to test the barista.
Very good.
That's a heck of a tip for Tess.
Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah.
she deserves it. All we've put her
It's
through.
what she deserves.
Yeah. Test. Yep.
Yeah, beautiful. All right. Let's scooch back to Elsie.
Yeah.
How you doing, Elsie?
Well, I'm overwhelmed is my condition. And this is happening because of all these memories like flowing into me and me not really knowing who I am. I was sort of waiting to see if anyone wanted to do anything about that.
Does somebody want to fix it? I don't know if somebody has that ability.
That nothing has sort of happened and this new person has come into the situation.
Elsie, do you want to put on the tweed jacket?
No, I don't think it's very good fashion. And that's one of the things Elsie cares about. I think I'm going to use my ruin move and just discharge it into everyone around me, hopefully including the parasitic library.
Yes. Okay.
My ruin move is called Let Sleeping Gods Lie. Somewhere in your memories lies the truth. You were once a terrible and vengeful cosmic being, destroyer of souls and worlds before heroes forced you into slumber. What you are now is just a dream come to life while the real you continues to sleep, yearning for a new age of destruction. When you take this move, create your own personal doomsday clock named The Dream Ends. So, I don't have a target for this. So, like, I don't have like a physical manifestation of the library in front of me. So I'm going to use the lesser version of it.
Yeah, you don't have like a humanoid manifestation of the library, but you're inside the library. You can certainly target it.
Well, the thing is, the way this move works is I can either mark one ruin and tick the clock once, and I don't think I'm not trying to speedrun this clock. And if I do that, this stuff just bleeds out of me. Or I can mark 2 ruin and use it intentionally to infect a specific vulnerable target. I don't think I have a specific vulnerable target, but leaking in this space should be very effective because we are completely surrounded by the enemy.
Yep.
And what happens is Elsie pushes themselves back up and have been sort of like muttering a low stream of words in many remembered voices the entire time they've been overwhelmed. And a deeper voice emerges from this stream and says, "You mewling thing of books, you hungry parasite in this world. I have seen the end that I am, and in my future there is no paper on which for you to be written. And the dream of what I truly am leaks out of me. And everyone, I have no control over who is affected.
Yeah.
But the dream that is coming out of me is of white hot sewing needles piercing through paper and burning it from all directions.
Damn.
Do we?
Okay.
I'm assuming we see all this, right?
That's up to Anne.
You guys are gonna feel this. And okay, so unless you guys want to have a move that says I can avoid this, or can make a real good argument for why it's not going to affect you, I think everybody's going to take a condition who isn't Elsie.
I'm going to use Ashes to Ashes.
Go for it. What does that do?
Ashes to Ashes is the...
Oh, yeah. Last of your kind. There will never be another. Yep. Oh, okay. So it's spend darkness tokens and roll.
Spend darkness tokens and roll and see what I get.
Yeah. Okay. But the wisdom of your people is helping in a situation. I mean, technically, you have seen the end of the world before, so yeah.
I've seen end of a world.
I think this is useful because the end of the world that you've seen is probably not the one I'm describing.
It's not.
So you do not believe the thing I'm saying.
No.
Yeah. Cool.
But I used the darkness point token and got a 9, so I got a 10 on the roll.
Okay, that's close. Yes. Good. Okay, so you're going to pick 2 of your questions. What do you want to go with?
For the ashes, you said pick 2?
Yeah, so on an 8 to 10, your wisdom shines brightly in the dark. You are choosing 2 things. You can recall ancient knowledge, ask me any questions, I answer it honestly and with great detail. Awaken latent abilities, choose another power of darkness, and you have access to it for now. Recognize the signs of portents hanging over your fellow monsters, and everybody gains a darkness token. Or you see a fractured memory in the face of another monster, declare what it is, gain a bond with that PC or NPC.
Gotcha. Then I'm going to choose recall ancient knowledge. And the question I asked the keeper is, since I saw the shadowy figure before that started all this, I want to know what the identity of the one that has summoned this this library to find whatever secrets they're looking for, so we know who to look for in order to stop this. In other words, the key for the name of the person who is doing this. Yeah,
the formless anamnesis between is... I'm not going to specify whether it's a harbinger or not. I'm going to let you guys figure that out. But I am going to tell you, it has been at the site of several things. Functionally, the formless anamnesis between describes itself as a traveler, follows the rules of a different set of physics, one that you recognize and that nobody else would. Basically uses whatever pronouns, obscured in shadow, no matter what the quality of light or the angle is. Probably if you asked, they'd say they were, picking up some things, just looking into some interesting items. But if they're not trying to bring about the end of the world for their own good, they are certainly at least helping someone else do it.
And that's the formless anamnesis?
I think you saw, formless anamnesis between. I think you saw them at the end of your world, and they're showing up again now.
And then the second thing, I'll just take the supernatural resistance from the summon so that I can resist the this damage that's being thrown around by Elsie. So basically being a rock within the hurricane.
That is so cool. Okay, yes, that's brilliant. All right. So you recognize the formless anamnesis is here. How many keys you guys? You do have 4 keys, which is what you need to start trying to roll to unlock the door. However, the more keys you have, like you just, if you can,
better.
Yeah, the better. If you have 5 keys and you do a theory that includes all of them, then you get a +1 on your roll to do that. So, all right. So that's brilliant. All right. Does anybody else want to go, or is everybody else just gonna take a condition?
I'm trying to interpose myself between Zoe and this outburst by.
I think you can do that. Yeah, I'm not gonna make you roll for it.
I have supernatural speed.
That's very wise. Yeah, you're very smart. And I imagine that you kind of would have seen this coming. Okay.
I'm gonna try to reveal my heart to LC, which would preemptively clear the condition.
Okay. You know what? Sure. Yeah. I think you can jump the shark a little bit on that and just like avoid having to mark it in the first place. Okay. All right. So roll or spend darkness tokens and roll to try to sincerely connect.
Yes. Well, I've already got a bond.
What are
I've
you
already got a bond. Got a bond with LC. Does that add to anything?
You can spend the bond after you've rolled to add 1 or subtract 1. From the roll.
Yeah, but what are you saying to her to try to connect? She's,
to them. Is it them?
Them, yes.
Them, yeah.
I'm sorry, them.
Yeah. I'm saying, LC, this is absolutely incredible what you are doing. I wish I could do it myself. I remember when you were there, when I was dying, you were with me. Glub, glub, glub. I feel a connection to you. And I feel that perhaps after all this, we could perhaps rule together.
Okay. All right. Beautiful.
So yes, I got an 8.
Okay. So your words reach them. So you can gain a bond with LC. You can clear a condition, which is what I imagine you're going to do.
Yeah. So I'll preemptively clear the condition by soothing my heart and just feel very connected to LC. And if LC feels connected to me, if it's reciprocated, they can choose one as well, I believe.
Yeah, LC, if you wanna show that you are, also revealing your heart, or just lean into it, then you can also gain a bond, clear a condition, mark XP, or clear a mark of ruin, which I don't think you have at the moment.
Oh, I do.
You do.
I mark ruin when I use that move.
You were bleeding the hallucination, right?
Yeah,
okay.
1 or 2 ruin. In this case, 1. I think there's 2 reactions to this. The first is the reaction of the thing bleeding out of me, and it is not feeling connected to Oculus, but or to Damien rather. Wait, no, to Oculus.
No, Oculus.
I mean, Damien would also be a great fallen name.
Oh yeah.
So, but LC does connect. So what happens, and I am going to clear overwhelmed so that I can pull back and go back to being a person. LC spins on Oculus and claws towards his face and says, "Petty man that would sit on a hollow throne, I do not seek to rule. Hi. I appreciate the offer, but I don't begin to understand it."
All right. So really the only person who's going to take a condition from that then is going to be Temujin.
And I'm too distracted by sort of trying not to look at death out the corner of my eye and the reflection on the filing cabinet to even notice until there are suddenly these white hot needles everywhere. At which point I'm already afraid of Elsie. And this is what the end of the universe looks like to me. So yeah.
All right. For condition, I'm gonna put afraid, I think. Like you thought you knew where death was coming from, and you thought it was in front of you and you were looking it in the eye, and then bam, Elsie just like stabbed you in the back with sewing. So it's going to take a hot second. And again, feel free to open your heart at some point. Let me know if you're going for role playing and I'm just not picking up on it for that to clear one of your conditions.
Elsie had a lot of points to make, okay?
Yeah.
But I think I probably do get darkness tokens for being too distracted to try to avoid that.
You know what? Yeah. Grab a 2 to 4.
Cool.
Is Zoe okay? I don't really like thinking about the thing that just came out.
Zoe's okay. Zoe's okay. Zoe's behind me. I would never let one of my worshippers be hurt.
Zoe's actually behind Legacy.
Oh, is it? Oh, never mind.
True. No, it's better this way.
It's so much better this way.
Yep.
Oculus, do you really want to build a following entirely of people you've deceived, when their minds are? Where'd Chiara go?
Great question. Chiara, do you want to make a dramatic entrance?
Yes, absolutely. I think I'm going to stumble into the crowd. I think I'm going to. I don't know what it looks like in here, but I'm assuming not good. Like I think that the vibes are not great. But I think
for what it's worth, the needles aren't actually around. Like that's a hallucinatory effect. They don't show up.
Okay, yeah. So maybe to me, everyone's just acting super weird, and I've got no idea what's going on. I do think I'm gonna do what I always do, and go to the person who seems the most shaken, the most vulnerable, who I think is Temujin right now. And I'm gonna start kind of grasping onto them, and I think I'm just gonna say, have you ever ordered a curry to eat and you eat it and you eat the whole thing and it's so good and it tastes wonderful, and afterwards you're still hungry and you know the only thing that's going to make you feel less hungry is more curry, but you don't have any because you ate all of the curry that you ordered and it's gone and it's not there anymore, and you can't order another curry because that's insane. You can't just order another curry the same night. So you eat other things. You eat whatever it is that you can find. You just eat and eat in the hopes that you won't be hungry anymore, but it's not curry, so you're still hungry, and you eat and you eat and you eat until maybe the next day, and you finally give in and you order another curry, and it's not that much better, but you just ate curry 2 nights in a row, and maybe it makes you look pathetic, maybe whatever, but finally you're a little less hungry. Have you ever felt that way?
Here, I don't eat curry.
That was me attempting to reveal my heart.
I have felt
shut down.
That was incredible, and that was a great rejection.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Elsie says, I have felt that way.
Sometimes you have to just buckle down and carry on.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh God.
Yeah, Chiara, you should learn to cook curry.
Beautiful. All right.
I was gonna go.
You're gonna spend darkness tokens and roll to sincerely connect before we get completely distracted.
I'm gonna just add 1 darkness token to whatever this is. Okay. that is 9 plus 1 is 10. So my heart reaches there, supposedly. And if you're PC, you are PC. So if you choose to deepen the connection further, you can choose one as well. I think that what I would like to do is, honestly, I think that maybe they're just like curt response of like, I don't eat curry, in a weird way gave me hope, because I was trying to connect on such a deeper level. And then it's in some way, the fact that there is someone who maybe hasn't actually felt that way gives me some hope that what consumes me isn't secretly consuming everyone else too. So I think I'm gonna clear my mark of ruin based on that connection.
Perfect.
And in my own
I'm gonna
awkward, unemotional way, I was trying to be nice.
Okay, if you wanna pick one of those as well, then feel free.
I'm gonna go talk to the library by going to the card index and start searching through the Dewey Decimal System in order to find the location in the library of the formless emesis between.
Yeah. Are you grasping a key?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Go ahead and roll.
I'm going to add a bond with you,
That's an
Kia,
8.
because I feel like you understand me in some strange, completely different people kind of way.
Nice. All right. I love that. All right. You are going to find so you're gonna the Dewey Decimal System here, like, is it's not all like stuff that you recognize. If you didn't know better, you'd think maybe Logos had been here as well, because it is just like, there is a system, but you would need a lot of time to sort through it. However,
I have time.
As you're going through this,
I use my power to stop time around me so that I can take the time.
Oh, I like that.
That's
okay.
cool.
So everybody else freezes as you just like tick,
Yep.
tick, 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 tick. All right, beautiful. You are going to find in this series of cards, you're ticking through, and you uncover something that is not a Dewey Decimal System card. It is a division ID badge. Do you recognize the person it belongs to?
No. But someone else in the group may.
All right. All right. So that is in the Dewey Decimal System thing that you're ticking through. I'm going to say, you take some time. You are able to find like a section of the library. It like, you steal Marcus's notepad out of their back pocket and like,
I found
do
Marcus.
some long division,
Marcus.
Perhaps. Yeah, I'm gonna say if Chiara shows up, eventually like the things will just go through. But yeah, you walk around, you steal the thing, you steal a pen, you do some long division, you figure out how the hell this is supposed to work.
Differential equations, some integrations.
Yeah. And eventually you figure out a section of the library that you think the prophecy sort of stuff is in that area.
Okay. And then I slip back into time.
All right.
So I found this.
And be like, oh.
I found this badge. I don't know who this is. Does anyone else recognize this person? And also, I think that the prophecy section is over that.
So what you're looking at is when the Schultz shifted, they uncovered kind of a much larger area where you can see sort of like a set of stairs leading up to like an upper floor loft area.
Does anyone recognize this badge? Does anyone know this division person?
Isn't that the head archivist?
I don't know.
What was his name
Rob?
again?
Rob?
Would I recognize it from the huge flood of memories that just flowed through me?
I'm going to say yes, and I am going to say if you want to pick who it is, absolutely. Alternatively, if you want to go with the fact that it's Rob, let me know if Rob is still alive in a way that humanoids would understand.
I'm going to say it is Rob, and I'm going to say that Rob is no longer meaningfully alive.
Meaningfully alive.
That makes it very hard for Rob being the one who's actually doing this from behind the scenes.
Well,
meaningfully
didn't say it's
alive
impossible.
leaves
I
quite
just
a
said it
lot.
makes it hard.
Yeah, like options that this could be like Rob ceases to have biological function. Like Rob now exists as Rob now exists only mimetically or as memory. There's lots of info stuff that could be happening with Rob's existence, or he could have been eaten, and the Harbinger was like wearing him as a skin suit, which I think is more likely than it being the head archivist, given that that's what it likes doing.
Yeah. That's cool. I reckon I like that.
That's a good one. And Rob was so close to retirement.
Oh God,
that's always dangerous in division.
His last day on the job tomorrow. Damn it.
Yeah.
I mean, in fairness, I feel like retirement is kind of more of a euphemism than anything in division.
In division terms.
Yeah.
No one ever collects the pension, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. All right. If you guys want to formulate a theory, again, you can feel free to do that. And that would just sort of fast track you to like the end. You'd find the door and all that jazz. If you want to keep looking, though, you can certainly do that as well.
We have how many keys? 5?
You've got 5. You needed 4. So you would basically roll, whoever comes up with the theory or whoever heads it would roll 2d6, add the 1, and again, you're shooting for an 8 to 10.
It's up to you all. Do we want to continue?
I think that Chiara's coming up with sort of some vague ideas of theories, partially based on the things that she's absorbed, related to the secrets within the library itself. Because I think that Chiara senses that whatever this Harbinger is might be somewhat like her. I think that this Harbinger could potentially be trying to herald in the ends of worlds in order to absorb kind of the energy that came from the world that ended, that it's a parasite in its own way, and the library helps give it access to ways to foment apocalypses for various different worlds, and it's doing that to absorb their energy, to derive some pleasure, to satiate a hunger from it.
So it's an apocalyptic crisis carnivore?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And more than that, that same parasite has been wearing the skin of the head archivist for the last month or so, slowly drawing pieces of the archive into the parasitic library, because those are the only things that it's going to keep from this world when it ends. And maybe it even came in with that dead thing that followed us home, which was the first point in that prophecy.
That could also explain why it's focused on Temujin, but also apparently like operating in like with a paradigm that sort of matches Legacy's paradigm. Those are the two people connected to like ends of the world that occupy a set point in space, like things that have happened or will happen at a specific moment, compared to the rest of us who are sort of like contain the potential to make it happen.
Oh, and the reason that we were sensing that there's something like legacy around is because in the library that was summoned with that ritual, it's not just books and information that this parasite keeps. It's also the things that end up in the library when the world ends. So the bookworm itself might be the last thing from the previous universe that it ate.
It could be a tatter
Ooh.
it could be a tatter of the tapestry that is broken free, that is trying to bring it out into the world.
I like it.
Okay. So it sounds like, so the facets of this mystery, Harbinger, Rob, or whatever is pretending to be Rob. We're pulling in the division badge based on that. We're theorizing that who brought the library in was the shadow thing or anamnesis working at Rob's behest. And we're using the ritual and the shadow scroll warning for that. We're thinking that the secrets within are the fact that this is what you said, crisis carnivore.
Apocalyptic crisis carnivore.
Apocalyptic crisis carnivore. I love that.
As opposed to the Librum vermiculae, which was the thing that Chiara bumped into.
Beautiful. All right, and then so that's how we're bringing in the ink stains in the presence of the worm, and also the division filing cabinet.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you've used all 5. Everybody pretty much went in on that theory. Who wants to roll?
We don't. This is rolled independent of any. You don't spend anything on this.
Yeah.
Right?
We have the 1 point because we've got 5 keys.
Yeah, you get the point because you've got the keys. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
I'm
roll
willing.
it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. And we're shooting
I like that
from
our authority on the end of the world is going for it.
Yeah.
I got an 11 minus 1 for the 1 key to make it a 10.
Nice.
Okay. Okay. All right. Legacy. All of this information snaps together in your mind. Again, you just like uncoded the entire thing using, days or weeks out of the time stream in order to do it. Where's the door?
I go over to the section that was the prophecy section of the library.
Mm-hmm.
And in there, I grab one of the mathematical books off the shelf that's called Portals to Knowledge. And as I open it up, it folds open it opens up into the door. And from behind it,
cool.
and from behind it steps the thing wearing Rob that we now have to confront and stop from completing this ritual to consume this world and carry on the bits and pieces to the next one.
All right. Oh my God, that is incredible. Is there anything in your role-playing thing that where you would get darkness tokens for that? Because I feel like you deserve darkness tokens for that.
Unfortunately, no, but sure, I'll take them.
Damn it. I feel like
Good
you should
puns
get
are worth it.
Oh my God, that was good.
If puns get me darkness tokens, I'm in deep trouble.
Beautiful. Oh God, I love it. All right. So you've tracked down Doom's door. You know how to unlock it. And the thing wearing Rob is in front of you. It's gonna kind of look you up and down, Legacy, and just God, I'm trying to think of a particularly mean thing to say to you, and I just can't think of anything right now.
It was very, very painful emotionally. Yes, whatever you said. Sure.
Yes. Yeah. Something along the lines of, we meet again. Or I remember this one. You were much younger then, clinging to your mother's skirts.
Well, then it's time for us to end our relationship.
How are you going to do it?
I'm hoping that some of the others who are much more active in our group, i.e., those who eat things.
Yeah.
I'm much more defensive at this point.
You want somebody to eat the harbinger?
But just consume it. But I will attempt to grab it so that it is a target for the actions of the other members of the group.
I think that's within the reasonable things. I don't need you to roll for that. As far as just like, grabbing this thing, it is.
I'm hoping that
now that you've.
I'm hoping my supernatural resistance will let me survive whatever lashings it throws about.
Right. I mean, you're strong. You're fast. You can certainly get your hands on it. As you do, you're going to be like inundated with the screaming. You probably kind of always have it at the back of your mind. And certainly the people around you will have gotten used to it. But as you do that, it's like something opens up, and you can hear not just Imperia, not just that world, but every single world that this creature has dined upon and waited, cultivated, harvested, eaten. You've got resistance. I'm not going to inflict a condition immediately, but God. Loud.
It is.
Does somebody else want to react, or do you want me to throw Rob at you?
Yeah.
I think Chiara, as soon as she senses the presence of this thing, wants to devour all of everything that it's devoured, everything that's inside it so bad. So I think even without meaning to, I immediately it's change into my devouring form and attempt to suck at least some of the energy, the creativity out of this being.
Okay.
Elsie may need to absorb the power as well.
Are you using a move for this, or are you?
Yes, that's my.
Say this is pushing the limits.
This is my. And this is my gnawing edge of hunger move, and I'm not trying to, I think that it's really. I'm hoping to. It's more about feeding me this move than about doing anything to it. It's more about me attempting to glean some power or advantage than getting anything, doing anything negative to this thing necessarily.
Beautiful.
I think
that's absolute.
Okay, cool. I am going to add my one darkness token to it. That's a natural 12, which is seems appropriate, and I don't think I can reduce that with a bond. So
you could take it down to an 11, but that wouldn't help anything.
Yeah, I don't think that would help. So cool. That is so I think perhaps this hunger is just too overwhelming. There's too many worlds inside this thing. It's more than I've ever encountered before. So I think that I ask you what the harbinger within me screams for, and I'm gonna gain one bond with what the darkness demands of me. It's first part.
Mm-hmm. All right. I mean, the fact that this is the fact that this has so many worlds in it is obviously, it's gotten bits of culture, but the part of you that hungers for inspiration, the part of you that was jealous of all of those artists that were kind of using you as a muse, I think just the raw tragedy of it, could fuel so much more artwork than anything, the raw emotion that comes with that, the dying remnants of love and grief and everything that sort of emotionally lingers on after, this tragedy. God, you wish you could have that, and you're just not made for it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah. So then, I think that I don't think I'll give in to the harbinger within me, but I think that this does lean into a new fear that I have, which I create or replace a hunger condition to reflect that. And I think because there's this overwhelming, like, tragedy that could be so inspiring, but just isn't couldn't be for me. I think I'm going to become hopeless. I think that I am going into. I think that I'm very afraid of what it means for me to be realizing that I can't access the things that I devour in this way. And I think it makes me feel like there's very little left for me, perhaps, and that I'm more similar to this apocalypse causing creature than I could be to stopping an apocalypse on my own.
Oh, yeah, that feels right. All right. I love that.
I'm gonna reach power through the darkness. I'm currently suffering from this existential fear of death coming unexpectedly that's been haunting me for this whole walk and this whole like reveal of the door in the book. But it's just occurred to me that death has always been with me, and death comes as a friend sometimes. I'm going to reach my power into those zombie worlds that this entity has eaten and call on every dead thing in them, everything that it ate, everything that it ended before it should have ended. And I'm going to call on them to eat it back, to consume it from within. Ooh. I'm going to send death into it.
Whoa.
That is so cool. Go ahead and roll, spend darkness tokens. And I'm real curious how you think this is going to look.
Well, let's see what the roll is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend one darkness token because the last time I got far too many points, and see how I go with this. 5. That brings it up to 6.
Okay. Shoot, you need a 7 in order to do that.
I do.
Can you
have
spend
a bond? Didn't you say you had a bond with Chiara?
I do. I have a bond with Kia that I feel like she understands me and I understand her. So how does burning a bond work in this?
Let me see. Let me double check. I don't know if you can.
I don't know if
you've got like a double bond. I don't know if you can do that, but let me double check.
You can. Right, yeah, ahead. True. I don't know.
Buddy, not the time.
Trying to give bond advice.
On a 7 minus, the keeper of the doors will offer you something connected to what the darkness demands of you. Whether or not you take it, prepare for the worst.
Yeah. I am trying to find the bonds.
It's on page 25.
Yeah, you can spend it to add, plus one or minus 1. Yeah.
So a 6, that'll still only bring it up to a 7.
Yeah, that's tough.
Multiple bonds can be spent on a single roll.
Oh, you can? Oh.
Yeah. So if you wanted to spend one with Chiara and possibly like one other one.
You do have a bond with the darkness, with what the darkness gives to you, don't you?
I've got a bond with LC. They were there when I died.
Oh, yeah. Use that.
All right. Yeah,
which actually, that makes sense, like, because the bond says I fear him and he avoids me because I saw the end of the universe when he was there. But this whole time I've been working through being afraid of him. And I've just worked out that I'm not anymore. I'm not afraid of death. I should never have been afraid of death. So I probably can use that bond as well.
So yeah, that seems
Yeah.
reasonable. So you're burning your bond with Tiara. Tell us how, like, what about her condition right now is doing that? And then I think you just sort of narrated exactly what your bond with Elsie, how you're bonding, or how you're not afraid of them anymore.
And with
Yeah.
Tiara, I mean, I just felt that we were really connected, because I felt that her hunger and my lack of emotion and connection to the world, that we somehow understood each other, and we understood how different we were from everyone else. But seeing that hunger actually in play, seeing how overwhelming and greedy it is, has actually made me rethink that. And I think maybe she doesn't understand difference. And in fact, she's not like me at all. I am, once again, alone in the universe. It's just me and my reflection, and no one else is like me. I'm so lonely.
Take some darkness points for being lonely. And I think that's one of your things, at least. I'm sorry, ignored or unimportant? Ignored, sure. All right, love that. Or no, you're embodying a condition that affects you. Yeah, you're lonely. Okay, as you do that, the rest of you are going to see, like, the thing that is wearing Rob. You're going to force them, you're bringing death into this. So you're going to see the bits of Rob kind of split in a way that makes it clear that this was very much a skin suit. But what's inside is crumbling into stardust gradually, slowly, like bit by bit, in a way that Temujin, you see all the time. Elsie, you try not to remember. Legacy, you've seen this too. I think probably Oculus is the only one who's been like, oh, that's
Horrifying.
gross.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. New and interesting.
Yeah.
If anybody else wants to, like, do a last thing and, like, kick it through the door, or otherwise, send the thing that is wearing Rob away. Feel free.
I have an idea, but it's a 2-move combo.
Okay. Pray tell.
So Elsie has been holding back from taking action this whole time because the move that they have in mind is to harness their is to click their doomsday clock some more, and they're afraid of themselves to do that, which is I'm trying to build up some darkness tokens. But seeing everyone else taking action, they're going to try to overcome that, to first mind read this thing to find out what it's afraid of, and second, cast that specific hallucination into its mind.
What it's afraid of is, I mean, inherently,
this would be
what
using
it does.
You can't hide your heart from me.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Roll.
Yeah, because one of its I can't get that for free because I have a move that I can get it from.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. I don't know if I got any darkness tokens at any point. I currently have 0.
I have not been keeping track of when people have been accruing them.
I might take it. I've been doing that, and also I didn't during the heated thing before. I didn't really mark anything about how I was playing overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend 2 on this because I got 2 from somewhere. That's 11. Let me see how bad the 11 plus thing is. This is fine.
I like that.
So an 11 plus, their mind bleeds into yours. Choose one above, and they will choose one to ask you as well. So I ask, what are you truly afraid of?
They're afraid of, and it is inevitable. Eventually they're going to run out of bolts.
Mm-hmm.
they eat things, the things do not generally come back. So, no matter how carefully the thing that's wearing Rob manages resources and, cultivates things, eventually they're going to be hungry and there will be nothing to save it. And they think they'll be, it at the end of all things, just, getting gradually more hungry. The thing that is wearing Rob wants to know from you, how can I make you trust me?
It could make me trust it by giving me solid information about who the girl Elsie is or was.
Okay, you guys are going to gain a bond.
Cool. What am I calling this? The hunger worm?
That would be called Ouroboros, that which feeds upon itself at the end of everything.
Yeah.
Sure.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. You said this was a two-parter. Do you want to go, or do you want to give somebody else a chance to change the situation a bit?
The thing I would do next is feed it its fear.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to try to make me trust it before that, but cool. Excellent. Then I see it fearing running out of worlds to eat, and I mark 2 ruin, take the dream ends twice, and convince it that time is now. All it can see is darkness. It's been eating forward, and it sees the end of itself, and it doesn't stop eating. It just eats and eats and eats as everything gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
And I have 1 move left to try.
Yeah.
Go for it. As this thing sort of like blankens in a way and like crumbles forward.
Using my time manipulation, I'm going to fold itself back upon itself as it consumes, so that it basically crystallizes into a single point in time of itself, just eating upon itself, as it reduces itself down into a chronal diamond, and it traps itself within this prison of its own consumption.
Whoa.
Do you have a move for that, or do I make you roll power through darkness?
I did power through darkness.
Beautiful.
And got a 9.
Ooh.
Okay. I think that's going to take care of it. That is such a cool ending move. So you just kind of, I feel like your hands kind of blur as you're, I guess, you're pulling the strings of this thing that nobody else can see. But the rest of you see the thing that's wearing Rob, like as it's simultaneously like crumbling into dust, eating itself, and like you're just sort of folding until you have this little thing, this item to be categorized away in some division library.
Yep, stored somewhere in the division storage.
Oculus, what's happening to the library now that the thing that's wearing Rob Ouroboros is a little bit of time?
I think the library is slowly kind of fading back to a normal library, I think. And perhaps one that contains ancient wisdom in its books.
All right. Is anything happening to the books? Are they just sort of normalizing in a way?
I think they're just kind of normalizing, yeah.
Fair enough. Chiara,
Yes.
What is happening for you with the library?
So I think as soon as this kind of event happens, this folding in, and I feel the library starting to fade away, I'm immediately torn again, because the last thing that I want is for all of this delicious ingenuity, this delicious knowledge from a vast variety of worlds that I could never get again. I think I'm torn between. I think like we accomplished our mission, but also we destroyed something that would have satiated my insatiable hunger for years, centuries, and now it's gone. So I think that I think that I'm, like physically trying to like hold on to the library as it disappears. And my form, as I kind of try to like suck in little bits of information, is just like rapidly changing, like graphs going over my face. For a second, I become, like different forms of all sorts of different beings who wrote different texts. I'm just like, are flashing through me as this library disappears.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I feel like as you're doing this, you're gonna hear the worm's voice one more time, just kind of whisper, "Two of a kind," as the thing sort of like fades back to normalcy.
No one will ever understand you like I do.
Yeah, tough. All right. You've solved the mystery.
Yay!
Cool.
How do you want to? Yeah.
That was fun.
How do you think your characters want to end up? If anything, if anybody has anything else that they want to do on the way out, now is the time.
Hand the gem over to Marcus.
Marcus has lost the stack somewhere.
No, we found him.
Yeah.
Oh, we did? Good.
Yeah, we just sort of like had him come back during Legacy's time stop. Let's learn the entire library bit.
I hand over to Marcus. Put this someplace careful. You might be able to. Someone could do something terrible, like create a consumptive laser or some sort of destructive device. So you might want to keep that thing.
While Marcus is filing that, Elsie intends to go to the coffee shop and ask out Tess before he can.
How does it go?
Tess is popular.
Yes.
I think
Elsie had determined from reading his mind that everyone else has inferior strategies for interacting with Tess, and intends to test the superior strategy.
I think that Chiara is going to manage to stay anchored in all of this that's happening by spending her bond with Legacy, who remembered who sort of has kind of implied in the past this idea of being afraid of what I could take from them, and I think that fear that me staying in the library and consuming the last vestiges of these other civilizations that were once within there is something that resonates with me. So I think that kind of memory of Legacy's fear is going to keep me determined to do good things instead of bad things. And I'm going to go back to my dorm room and I'm going to order a curry.
Yes.
Oculus is going to spend all his time reading up on books about cults and religions to try and figure out the best way to grow his own power back and to the best way to recruit followers.
Interesting.
Because he seems to be failing.
I've been told podcast. Podcast is the way.
Yeah, podcast. Murder podcasts.
On that note, since so much of the library was consumed, Zoe is going to be a little bit amenable, I think. I think you've got like a baby follower.
Oh, yes.
Hey, I'm the one that saved Zoe. What's up with that?
Zoe's just into the eyes.
I have cool
You're a
eyes
looker.
too,
I have lots of eyes.
Temujin's
All right.
going to see if they can find the book on abductions that they were looking for at the beginning of this.
Yeah.
Take it out of the library and take it back to go and read.
Oh, that would be on aisle 3.
Thanks, Legacy.
Sure.
Perfect. Legacy, how are you feeling about all this?
I'm sad it came to that we had to destroy something that existed from beyond, but it was becoming too dangerous. So it is what it is. And I, once again, gain another bit of darkness as I fall in despair of these destructions continuing to happen.
Yeah. So at the end of these sessions, generally, you've got some sort of questions to ask that I am sneaking through trying to find real quick. Generally, you guys can choose if you want to, if you basically embodied the themes of your playbook, you can mark XP. Usually, if you get up to 8 XP, you get another, playbook move or whatever. But you can also choose if you think you took like a strong move towards your character becoming a harbinger, you can opt to mark ruin at the end of the session. But generally, the following questions are, did you express your monstrous nature and or express your humanity despite your monstrous nature? If yes, mark XP. Did you learn something significant about yourself or your impending ruin? Mark an XP. Did you learn something significant about a fellow monster? If yes, mark an XP. You guys did attempt to unlock Doom's, or you discovered a key of the apocalypse. If you don't do that, you mark a ruin, but you guys did, so you're fine.
Cool. Excellent.
We did it.
You did
Excellent.
it.
Thank you.
We have XP for a one-shot. Yay.
Once you XP for a one shot, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to mark a ruin instead.
Yeah, why not?
Perfect.
But I
Why
didn't
not?
make it. I only got 4 ruin this session.
You did not ruin yourself into harbinger status.
No.
I could just take another ruin move so I could get ruined faster.
Don't make me put you into a timeout, because it would literally be timeout.
Oh yeah. So I think we'll call the stream there. Thank you,
right.
everyone. Thank you, Anne. You were amazing as always. Thank you, guests. You were great. Thank you to our viewers, donators. Thank you, everyone. We've got some more events coming up. Check Twitter. And yeah, that's it. So have a good evening, everyone. See ya.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.